press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish.
Ah, yes, our vice president fighting Joe Biden. That was one of the more commented upon comments of last week, where the vice president said he'd like to take Donald Trump out behind the gym, presumably for fisticuffs. And Mr. Trump was heard to respond, tough guy. Well, now apparently it may be, should Hillary Clinton be victorious, that it will be Joe Biden, the diplomat. Yeah, the talk is, according to a report in Politico, that Joe Biden, the current vice president, is the leading candidate to become Secretary of State in a Hillary Clinton administration. How about that? Let's bring back our panel. Again, from Newsmax, New York, radio and TV commentator Ellis Henican, and from Atlanta, Georgia, via Skype, the co-founder of Women Vote Trump PAC, Amy Kremer. Lady and gentlemen, the name of the program is America Talks Live, and we've got calls coming in at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. So let's go to those phones, see what questions and comments are out there amongst those watching. We begin in Cleveland, where Eddie is on the phone. Hi, Eddie.
Hi, how are you?
Doing fine, thanks.
Yes, basically, I went to vote early for Donald Trump, and while her name, Clinton's name, was at the top of the ballot, okay, I had to literally hunt for the Trump name. They had like 18 other people there for president, and if you didn't really look for Donald Trump's name, you might not even find it. Now, I don't know if that constitutes any kind of illegality or anything like that, but if you were voting for Hillary, her name was right there in your face.
Well, her name on your ballot was listed first, but you were talking about a lot of different names. Now, I'm wondering, and forgive me on this, but I just need to understand, did they have other names in smaller print under the major candidates? Because some states, and this may be this way in Ohio, Eddie, they list the electors. Because remember, when you're casting a popular vote, you're casting a popular vote for that candidate's electors to convene in the Electoral College and cast their vote for your preference. So different states have different kinds of ballots. I will say this, it was my experience on the ballot in Arizona that there would be a random placement of candidates. Some ballots, for example, when I was a candidate for Congress, some ballots, my name would be at the top. On other ballots, my opponent's name would be, they would rotate the names. Amy, I'm not sure what the situation is in Georgia, but do you have something to add to the question and the comment that Eddie was making there in Cleveland?
Actually, I have not voted yet. I'm thinking about going this afternoon, but so I don't know what the ballots look like. I mean, personally, I think that's kind of confusing. Why not just list the office and then the candidates? But I don't know. I've never voted in Ohio, JD. I've only voted here in Georgia, so I wouldn't know. But I do want to say one thing about the voter fraud. Ellis says it's a constitutional right and we shouldn't have to show ID. Well, it's also your constitutional right to own a gun, and you have to show ID to buy a gun. So why can't you show an ID to vote? I
appreciate that. We'll get back to the debate and discussion in just a second, but there is developing breaking news at this hour that I need to bring to you all. According to a tweet from House Government Oversight and Reform Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz, the FBI is reopening the Hillary Clinton investigation. We look for details. Again, we explain it as a tweet from Jason Chaffetz. We wait for more information, but Ellis, if this proves to be correct, what is your reaction to that news?
I'd wait to hear what Jason is saying tomorrow. I know his views on a lot of things change quickly. Like he was not going to be for Trump, and now he is for Trump. So I don't know. I might want to get 2 or 3 sources on that one before I go with it, JD.
Well, understandably, we want to get more information. However, what we have found, Amy, is that oftentimes now social media beats the wire services and news organizations to the punch. I'm going to take Jason at his word for the time being. Your take on what this may mean 11 days prior to Election Day.
Well, JD, first of all, it's all over Fox News. So I'm going to take Jason at his word. And I don't think it's a good thing for Hillary Clinton. But that is why that's why her people inside of her campaign have been freaking out about the email, because they know it's bad. And I don't know how it can be good for her. I think it's a distraction she's probably going to have to deal with. But again, it shows what was really going on there. You can't say that there's something there if without these investigations. I mean, the investigation showed that there's something there. So I think it's a big deal. I just hope that the FBI does the right thing this time, because I don't think the FBI did the right thing. She should have been prosecuted.
Ellis, to add to the details we are getting, the reason Congressman Chaffetz moved forward with his tweet, he was told directly by FBI Director Jim Comey that the investigation is reopening. Any comment?
Interesting. Well, JD, you guys must be kicking yourselves at this point, right? Because Trump is turning out to be a candidate who is distinctly unable to take advantage of anything like this, right? If the Obamacare premiums go up, if there's some issue with the emails, if WikiLeaks comes out, if you guys had a different candidate in there, I think you might have been able to exploit this stuff, get some political mileage out of it. Unfortunately, as things now stand, no matter how Hillary stumbles, it's kind of hard to take much political advantage when you've got Donald Trump at the top of the ticket. Are you finding that?
I do appreciate, in terms of rhetorical technique, Ellis, the redirection, because I understand in argumentation and debate to refute, if you can't comment on the essence of the story, you redirect to something you believe is weaker, and the point is well taken. But I tell you what, let's bring in another caller about this. Again, from that key swing state of Ohio, Steve is on the line. Steve, welcome to America Talks Live.
Yes. I'm curious, and people in my hometown are, why they never got a special prosecutor for Hillary Clinton's FBI email investigations to begin with. Why couldn't the Jordans or anyone be able to get a special prosecutor for them?
That's a very good question, Steve. I'll give the panelists a crack at it, but first, my reflexive answer is this. We changed the statutes dealing with independent counsel. It used to be reflexive. It was required by law. But there was some concern, actually, given the duration of some investigations, that some independent counsel, some independent prosecutors overstayed and actually enlarged the scopes of investigations far beyond their original charge. So it was completely at the discretion of the Department of Justice and the executive branch. And obviously, given this president and given his inclinations, there was no way to do that. I'll let the panelists get in on this, but first, let's take a look at the tweet. We have it now, the freeze frame from Jason Chaffetz at Jason in the House. FBI Director just informed me the FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to the investigation. Case reopened. Amy, help me with my recollection about the independent counsel statute and the actions of this administration as to why there is no independent prosecutor.
No, I mean, I absolutely believe that you're correct on that. If you're wrong, then I'm wrong. But look, this administration, I believe that the whole reason nothing came down, no indictment from the Department of Justice, they could not prosecute Hillary Clinton without implicating Barack Obama, our president. And that's not a good thing. They have wanted to cover this up for a long time. They've hoped that it will go away. They don't talk about it. They keep, and then about the WikiLeaks, they say it's the Russians, on and on. I mean, this is corruption in Washington, D.C. And I think what it shows is that there's a different set of rules for the Clintons than there are for us little people out here in the heartland. And that's unfortunate.
Well, let us turn to our friend Ellis Henican, who has been remarkably patient waiting his time. Ellis, though we may not agree on everything, we will give you the privilege of the last word on this discussion, sir.
Sure. I mean, clearly this issue rumbles on. I mean, there will be further hearings about it and all kind of other things. It strikes me as a hard case to make, though, that somehow Mr. Comey appointee of the Republican administration, someone who has a career prosecutor and law enforcement official, would somehow be involved in some secret conspiracy to allow Hillary Clinton off the hook in this case. I mean, you got to go pretty far afield in your conspiracy theories to reach that conclusion, and I just don't see any evidence of that. But keep going, Amy. I'm sure the argument will continue.
Well, since he's invited you, Amy, you got 20 seconds.
Ellis, you don't think that there's anything wrong with Bill Clinton meeting with Loretta Lynch on the airplane while they're investigating?
You think Comey is corrupt? That he's in the tank? He took a dive for the sake of the party?
I tell you what, I've got to cut this short, but I'll give you a direct answer.
You can't argue that.
I absolutely believe that Comey was stung by the criticism when he goes to the Senate committee. Don't call us weasels. He appears to be a weasel. At long last, perhaps there is a shred of integrity, but I'll tell you this, there'll be I'm absolutely serious.
That's a big one.
Oh, yeah, you bet. Great discussion. Amy, Ellis, thanks. Coming back with Seton Motley right after this.